Okay, we now need to discuss the advertising agency. The advertising agency acts as an intermediary between the advertiser and the media. The advertiser wanting to advertise, the media carrying the advertising, the newspapers, magazines, television companies, etc. The advertising agency acts as an intermediary because it contains a number of experts who have tremendous expertise in this area of organising, planning and developing advertising campaigns. There are four main departments within the advertising agency. First is account management, can be called client liaison, and this contains, for example, an account director, an account manager and a number of account executives. The second would be the creative department, which has a creative director and an art director or visualiser and a copywriter. They actually prepare the advertisements. Then there is the media department that involves a media director, a media planner and a media buyer, deciding how to use the client's money, where to spend that money to reach the target audience that they're wanting to get their message across to. And the fourth area is production, that's the producing of the advertisement in the form required by the media, be it DVD for television, be it obviously tape for radio or disc, and the traffic department. So production and traffic work together. That's the organising of the preparation of the material and the organisation of the timings so that the advertisement is received by the media and it appears on time. There are various types of advertising agency. There's the full service agency that offers a whole range of activities that I've just described and is often very large and international by nature and attracts clients who are also international. So it means that the same advertising agency can work with the client across many, many regions of the world. Then there is the a la carte agency, which is mainly creative in its activities, and it normally links together with a media consultancy to provide the creative and the media in combination. Then there are regional agencies that just satisfy advertising activity in perhaps the north of the country or the middle of the country, just one area. And then there are specialist agencies. These have grown quite dramatically. They might specialise in recruitment advertising, industrial or business-to-business advertising, travel and tourism, information technology, areas of that nature. And finally, studio-based agencies. They tend to be quite small, they tend to be very organised in the production area and the creative area, and they act as external support for these large agencies as and when demand is required. So how to select an advertising agency? How do you go about doing that? Well, in the UK, probably you do the following. You start with a long list and then do some research and some investigation. You would make contact with experts in the field. So the first would be by contacting ISBA, ISBA, that's the Incorporated Society of British Advertisers. The leading manufacturers or advertisers are normally members of that, and they can make contact to get advice on an agency that might suit their requirements. Then you can contact the IPA, as I mentioned earlier, the Institute of Practitioners in Advertising. They represent the leading advertising agencies in this country. Then there is the AA, which is the Advertising Association in the UK. They are experts in the advertising arena. And finally, the AAR, which is the Advertising Agencies Register. They have reels, show reels of all the leading advertising agencies' most recent advertising campaigns, be it television or cinema, be it radio, be it newspapers, magazines. And you can arrange studio time. You book that, you go and visit, you see the latest work by the advertising agencies you have an interest in, and it gives you an indication of the quality of the creative standards that they are working to at the present time. You need to go from that long list to a shorter list, and this is based upon a number of other things, such as location. Where is the agency based compared to where your company exists? What is the experience of the staff? What is the knowledge of these people on that staff of the agency in relation to your market or markets for your products? Who are their current clients, their current client list? Who are their previous clients? Who have they worked for before? Then you need to visit these agencies. You need to see their premises, see the numbers of staff employed, talk to these employees, get to know them. You can check on whether they have the latest equipment there whilst you're present. And you can check also by speaking to the people who may work on your account to identify personal chemistry, whether you feel you get on well with those people. Then you need to go from there to select 2 or 3 of them and to ask them to pitch to try to win your business. You should give each of these agencies the same task, ask them to complete that, ready for presentation to you in approximately, say, 14 days. You should receive presentations from each of them, those 2 or 3 or 4 agencies, and see them all within 2 or 3 days. So the first is still fresh in your mind whilst you are being present to receive the final presentation. You should compare each of these agencies' recommendations against a preset list of criteria, and that will help you to decide which is the winning agency. And once you've decided that, you should let them know and arrange to award them a contract to work for you, possibly for the next 12 months. When you have an agency, or the advertiser now, you have an agency, you want to do an advertising campaign, you should arrange to brief them. You should brief them in the way that is audio, visually, but also provide them with documentation as well. On the client brief, there should be many things. The first perhaps should be the history of the client, company, their brand or product or service, and the previous advertising campaign that they did for this particular product or service. Then second should be the market, should be information relating to the market, any market research results, market shares, market size, market trends, things of that nature. Marketing objectives should have been set and they should be included. For example, to increase market share of this brand by 2% by the end of the next financial year. So it should be smart. The product, if it is a product, its name, its ingredients, its pack sizes. Target audiences, they should be identified. The trade, the consumer, and also the end user. 6th should be the budget, so total budget for space or airtime, and if there is a separate budget for the production of the advertising. Sometimes these are simply put together in a single budget. Then there should be the advertising communications objectives. An example would be to increase awareness of the brand name of this product amongst the target audience, to increase it from 35% to 70% by the end of the advertising campaign. 8 should be the unique selling point of the product, for example Dyson with a bagless vacuum cleaner. 9 should specify any other necessary or preferred inclusions or any necessary or preferred exclusions from the creative work. For example, it may need to include a response mechanism, telephone number or a website address for people to respond, to visit after seeing the advertisement. 10 should be the media objectives, for example, to achieve an 80% coverage of the target audience and to provide an average of 6+ opportunities to see the advertisement. 11 should consider regionality. 12 should be seasonality. Some products are very seasonal, such as ice cream in the UK, for example. 13 should be timings, the start date of the campaign, and the duration. Is it to start on September the 1st and last for 6 weeks, for example? 14 should identify any other promotional activities that should be related to this, either immediately before or during the campaign, such as public relations activity or sales promotion activity with a special offer. And finally, there should be an indication of evaluation. How will the campaign be evaluated after the campaign has ended? Is a research company going to be brought in to do interviewing amongst members of the target audience to see if they have been aware of the campaign and whether they have gone and bought the product since seeing the advertising campaign take place?